Karoline Leavitt got very irritated with a journalist who she asked his opinion on something. So she asks this journalist his opinion on the killing of Renee Good. He gives it because she asks for it. And then he goes, see, this is why you're disgusting. Or she does that. And then we'll look at other moments from this press conference. Watch this.
Earlier, you were just defending ICE agents generally. And earlier on, Secretary Noem spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 US citizens were detained by ICE. And Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist. And it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias. You should be reporting on the facts. You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country? I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist.
So let me just a couple things. First of all, because it was later in what she said, let's follow her logic. Outlets did report on those stories, Laken Riley being one example, a lot. And that's a horrible, horrible story. And so then is she saying the reason she's bringing that up is because whenever someone who isn't in the country legally murders someone, that means that then someone over here protesting against a law enforcement organization that is not being respectful of people's rights, that is harassing random people of all different immigration statuses, including citizens being detained, 100 plus, without explanation, and is freaking out communities. Someone protesting those actions over here, it's okay for them to be shot in the face because someone here was killed by an undocumented immigrant. Is that the thread? Because I don't want that. I don't want this person to be killed. And I want their life to be valued. And I also want the protester's life to be valued. Pretty simple, huh? And then we go to the beginning, which is her going, what is your opinion on this? And he goes, my personal opinion, meaning not just my reporting of the facts of a situation, but my personal stance. And she goes, yeah. And he goes, I think the officer acted recklessly and ended up killing her. And Leavitt goes, how dare you? You're biased. Well, every journalist has a personal opinion. Their job is to then objectively report despite their opinion. You can't remove the fact that you have thoughts and opinions in your brain. And you asked for it. I was shocked he even specified, do you mean my personal opinion? Which also, you're the one giving the answers. Why are you asking reporters their stance on things? This isn't a press conference with them. They're supposed to be asking you the question. But still, he gives a perfectly reasonable answer. Are you saying not just it was not murder, but that it wasn't even reckless? So you think the second and third shot where you can see him completely clear of the car, just shooting into the side of the car, ensuring she's dead, can't even be described as reckless? Well, then I really have a difficult time comprehending that we're both the same human beingness. Like, we're both humans and you can't have any human empathy, as I referenced in the end of the last segment. So that was bizarre. But did you hear her say, you shouldn't even be in this seat? You're supposed to be a journalist. Real journalists should be in these seats. Really? Because look at who you introduced to the press conference.
I'm surprised it took us a year to get you here, but I'm very happy to see you. I know you have a new podcast, The Riley Gaines Show. And so thank you. And you brought a beautiful baby and your lovely husband too. So thank you so much for joining.
Is that baby an unbiased journalist? Oh, so the journalist with his own opinions can be in the room, but some random baby who probably didn't even get a journalism degree gets to sit in the room? No, I mean Riley Gaines. We're going to say Riley Gaines is an unbiased journalist? So that guy gave his own stance, which is perfectly reasonable, perfect based on the facts, which is the officer acted recklessly and killed a woman. And that means he's an insanely biased journalist and shouldn't even be in the room. Now let me turn our attention to Riley freaking Gaines, who's the influencer who got 5th place in a swimming race and tied, I guess, with a trans person. So then she became an influencer. Gives her opinions. Fine, give your opinions. But I can tell you, there's nothing objective about how she delivers statements. And she has a new show, The Riley Gaines Show, which is right now number 5 on the podcast charts. No, I'm kidding. I get it. I get it. We're good. Okay. Then Trump in a Reuters interview went, we shouldn't even have the midterms. You're probably thinking, he didn't say that. He did. Oh, but it was a joke. Well, let's read. The president expressed frustration that his Republican Party could lose control of the U.S. House of Representatives or the Senate in this year's midterm election, citing historical trends that have seen the party in power lose seats in the second year of a presidency. It, quote, it's some deep psychological thing, but when you win the presidency, you don't win the midterms, Trump said. He boasted that he had accomplished so much that when you think of it, we shouldn't even have an election. This comes after he said this at an event.
The worst president did the worst job. They had the worst policy. We have to even run against these people. Now, I won't say cancel the election. They should cancel the election because the fake news will say, he wants the elections canceled. He's a dictator. They always call me a dictator.
Well, the part always bothers me so much. He does that so frequently. He'll go, I don't want to say that I want to murder Jaden because then the fake news media will go, Luke said he wants to murder Jaden. No. That's what you would have said if you would have said it. But like, really? Really think about it. You're stating that it's something bad about the fake news, that if you would have said something, they would have reported on the fact that you had said that thing. But if you would have said it, then you would have said the thing they would have reported on you would have saying. No? Right? So what is the problem with the fake news? And then after saying I probably shouldn't say this, he goes on in a different interview with Reuters being like, when you think of it, we shouldn't even have an election. But don't report on that, then you're bad. And then, of course, Leavitt is like, come on, he was being facetious. While you watch this clip, please do click the subscribe button if you appreciate what we do here. Pretty simple. You just go like this. Ready? Boom. Boom. That's it. Step 1, click. Step 2, you're happy. And it makes a big difference and it's free.
My question is, President Trump has talked twice in recent days, once at the Kennedy Center and then to Reuters again last night about canceling the election. Why is he talking about this?
I believe you're referring to the president's interview at Reuters last night. I was in that interview. It was a closed-door interview. Obviously, there was not audio or video. The president was simply joking. He was saying, we're doing such a great job. We're doing everything the American people thought. Maybe we should just keep rolling. But he was speaking facetiously.
Oh, very, very good. So, follow-up question. In all honesty, be as honest as you can for a second. I know it's tough. What would your reaction be if Obama had said that as a joke? The guy who hated the troops because he saluted with a latte once. The guy who hated what we stand for because he wore a tan suit. The guy who ate something wrong, I think, and they didn't like how he ate something or something like that. The guy who hated freedom because his wife was trying to address food concerns and making food healthier. And they want to tell us if we can eat a cheeseburger. Ah. The guy who was called a dictator for the Affordable Care Act. Can you imagine? You remember those times? So fun. What would they have said if he went, listen, America loves me. They call me Daddy Barack. We should just cancel the elections. I can't. Still can't do a Barack. Sorry. I'm trying. I'm working on it. But you think they would go, he was being facetious. We get it, man. We get it. Hey, we get it. Funny. We're all laughing. Cancel the elections. And actually, if Obama had said that, that actually would have maybe been kind of funny because he has never done anything to undermine democracy before. When Trump says it, you're like, wait, aren't you the guy who tried to steal election after you lost the 2020 election? Maybe I should care a little bit when you talk about canceling elections. Even if, yes, I know he doesn't actually think he can cancel an election. It's still insane he would say it. And here's another reporter going, let's follow up on that. You know, a bunch of people died for us to protect elections. Maybe is that something the president should just joke so casually about?
To ask you about the president's interview with Reuters, you said that he was joking about canceling the elections. But Americans for generations have fought and died for democracy, for this democracy. Are you saying that the president finds the idea of canceling elections funny?
Andrew, were you in the room? No, you weren't. I was in the room. I heard the conversation, and only someone like you would take that so seriously and pose it as a question in that way.
Second,
Caroline,
next
Thank you, Caroline.
Grumpy alert. Then you have this happening. Like, this is just, you know how much effort, how much time we've put into cultivating complex geopolitical relationships with allies to strengthen our collective standing. And Trump's just wrecking it all. Germany joins Canada, Sweden, and other nations in sending troops to Greenland as Trump threats intensify. So Trump's being so insane with talking about taking over Greenland that now our allies are sending troops to Greenland to as a way to discourage us from invading Greenland. Here's Leavitt on the topic.
About Greenland, Europe reportedly sent troops over there. Does that change at all what the president is doing on this? And then a second question. Yesterday, in a Senate help hearing, Senator Josh Hawley repeatedly asked a doctor if men can get pregnant, and she did not directly answer.
Oh, I don't want to talk about this anymore. What's a woman? Can a man get pregnant? Oh, you didn't answer it. Wah. These are the days when I want to call it quits. I'm not going to, and I won't for a really, really long time. I'll look very different and old when I stop doing stuff like this. But these are the days when I hear two questions. One of them is Trump going to invade Greenland, essentially? And the second one is, can men get pregnant? Because trans people think that blah, 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 right? It's a whole trans. The MAGA obsession with that is that trans men who were born biologically female, identifying as a man, then if they get pregnant, and anyone describes that as a man being pregnant, they're like, see, the left has gone crazy. And do we not all understand the definitional distinction? Do we not get this is kind of just a definite, like a semantic thing? Like if someone identifies, we're going to respect, love, and we get the difference between biology and identity socially and all that. It's really not that hard when you think about it. But it gets brought up so much, and I don't know why these doctors don't have answers yet. Like, meaning you're going to get asked this. If you go to any hearing with any Republican, the topic could be we're about to get nuked by Russia, and if you're at a hearing, be ready to get asked the question, what is a woman and can a man get pregnant? And answer it well, please. Don't do this weird thing of like, I don't know what you mean. You know what they mean, and hit them hard with it. Just go, oh, you probably have a small penis. I don't know. Just like trick them. Just mess it with their head, okay? That's what you have to say next time. Small penis, say what? That's what you gotta do. Josh Hawley goes, can men get pregnant? And you be like, whatever, you know, like just say something funny. I don't know, but I didn't need I don't know, but in my professional opinion, I need a microscope. Wait, I don't know, but in my professional opinion, I need a microscope to find your penis. It's what you gotta do. You just gotta throw them off their game, okay? So sick of this dumb conversation. These culture wars, they do nothing. We're just like, oh, well, yeah, you know, that's it. That's what we accomplished. Literally, I just summed it up. All these screaming matches we have over, well, do you... This is what it accomplished, MAGA. All the screaming you've done, it's just a noise. That's all it is. Just a noise. That felt weird. That was a blowing of a kiss. I don't know. Not trying to Elon myself. That felt like a weird motion. All right. Anyways, what? Please answer the question. Will we invade Greenland? And also, what is a woman?
Well, but Greenland reportedly sent troops over there. Does that change at all what the president is doing on this? And then a second question. Yesterday, in a Senate help hearing, Senator Josh Hawley repeatedly asked a doctor if men can get pregnant, and she did not directly answer that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, to your first question on Greenland, I don't think troops in Europe impact the president's decision-making process, nor does it impact his goal of the acquisition of Greenland at all.
Really? We're going to go to war with Europe, Leavitt? Really? Is that really what you're saying? Let me see if I can find this clip real quick so you'll know what's being referenced there. Here it is.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since you bring it up, why don't we just start there? Dr. Verma, I wasn't sure I understood your answer to Senator Moody a moment ago. Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question.
So then it goes on and on. You see what I mean? Like, what? Are we not all adults and we don't know what we're talking about? We know. A trans man who was born biologically female and still has the ability to have kids could get pregnant and have a kid. Yeah. Yep. But does you shut up? Have you ever thought of that? Okay, you asked me that question. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of shutting up? Has that ever occurred to you? Josh Hawley? But I don't know why answers aren't prepared. Like, somebody's gender identity doesn't impact their biological sex or something like someone's biological reproductive system. Okay, well, it could if you in certain transitions, but you get my point, right? I get it is complicated because if you've not just socially transitioned but medically, physically, in more like medical ways, then things start changing. But we all understand the little dumb, meaningless trap they try to set there. And it's like, what is your stance? That someone who is living in every way, socially, transition medically, whose identity is how they're now living, fulfilling their identity, that what? We're supposed to like, what is your proposal? We know the same things about what a reproductive system does or what biological characteristics allow someone to have a kid or not, or which biological systems got the testicles, like we got it. All right. And also, I want to love people who are living as their true self. Is it so complicated? No, it's not. But we waste time on it because of the Hollies of the world wanting to get a good clip. That's all that's for. Does he really think the doctor doesn't know what biologically is required to birth a baby? I think he knows she knows. But he wants to have a big semantic debate over that. Then let's move forward, I guess, to Leavitt being like, ICE protesters are flipping off ICE agents. Are they, Karoline? And are we against flipping off? Because I remember a little man by the name of Donald flipping off.
The streets. If you look at some of the images out of Minneapolis last night, look at this vehicle. Look at what it says. It says F ICE. You have these individuals who are putting their middle finger, proudly so, at the camera. Another ICE individual, a vehicle that was vandalized last night by these left-wing agitators. People don't do this without encouragement from people in power who make them feel like it's okay. Here's another one. And
that's crazy. She said, wait, what's this?
I'm pretty sure this car, you can't see it, said the street.
Okay, yes. She already said F ICE. She doesn't like that. Don't be flipping people off, guys. Podcast listeners, that's Trump flipping off someone for calling him a pedo protector